Hey folks, Matt from AreaTheImage.com. Had a great discussion on my video, the Canon T6 versus the T4i, T5i, T6i, T6s, 70D. Why I'd recommend any of those over the T6, the most underwhelming DSLR ever, as I called it. But this discussion was really good because a lot of people got involved about the T6, but because Video Photo SMX user writes in and says, I agree that all of the Canon cameras you mentioned in this video are way better than the T6. Personally, I'm in the market for a new camera, and I've been following your comments on the G7, and I think that the G7 is a better camera than all those Canon reflex. The only thing I'm not sure of if the G7 is better in low light and AFC, so that's AF continuous, than the Canon Rebel reflex. Would you recommend the G7 over the Canon lineup? I shoot video for weddings, and my biggest problem is the low light and following focus with dancing moves. Thank you very much, and keep up the good work. Thanks for the compliments. I don't know if I'd take the G7 over the 70D if you're wanting it to use the autofocus to follow dancing, because the 70D's dual pixel AF system, it's going to do pretty good there. I would take it simply because it's got better video quality. It's a 4K power file and very good low light autofocus. I really am impressed with the G7's autofocus. Now, the Plush Ninja writes back in, says the 70D brackets the 80D, because the 80D is out now, has excellent follow focus. The only downside is no 4K, which is basically what I'm saying here. And so Video Photo SMX writes back, the Plush Ninja, thank you, I agree, the 70D is a good camera. I just think that Canon is selling old technology and Panasonic brings a lot to the table, but I still don't decide because I have a T3i and it's still very good in low light. Thank you very much. So that's good points too. I don't discount, especially with the T6. That's just a pile of old parts from the old parts buckets. And Canon just keeps playing catch up. But like, look at the 80D. There's nothing earth-shattering here. The only thing about the 80D that is better than any of its competitors is the dual pixel AF system, which isn't really that much changed from the 70D. I was hoping Canon would revolutionize it plus throw in 4K, and I would have been first in line to buy one. So I gotta agree with you there about the old technology. Then we got a comment from One Barnett. The G7 has the most recent 16 megapixel Panasonic sensor. It's about equal in regards to noise. Yes, the sensor is newer, more advanced, but is also 50% smaller, which cancels it out again. The G7 can focus in stupid low light -4 EV, and yeah, it's been my experience. It's got very good low light autofocus. The Canon will be all over the place under those conditions, not to mention that can probably barely see through the OVF at -4. Good points too, because the EVF's an advantage in dim light. AFC is decent with DFD Panasonics for stills, terrible when recording 4K. Olympus lenses do not support DFD. That's the depth from I can't remember, depth from defocus, depth from something. That's the newest Panasonic autofocus system. One of the components of what makes it so awesome is it has like a memory bank, a data bank of scenes to compare it to, and it makes snap focusing very, very quick. And will fail in regards to AFC. Point to point, AF of the G7 is among the fastest, and I would agree. And it can detect faces and eyes across the frame. While the Rebels have a limited array of 9 to 19 points, the G7 can focus anywhere in the frame. And that is very true. The G7, I love, focus anywhere in the frame, tap, focus, shoot. Beautiful. As for focusing those dancing moves, I would use focus peaking, a wide and fast lens. Wide lenses have deeper depth of field, which is true, and try to maintain the same distance to the subject. Don't try to AF track these radical movements. That's just impossible. And that's good advice. That's probably the way I would shoot it if I was shooting the video, in dimmer lighting at a reception, at a dance, at a wedding, that type of thing. Because yeah, that just makes perfect sense rather than trying to rely on the AF, which is probably going to fail on you. The G7 isn't going to fail to be able to shoot in low light, but it doesn't have the smooth autofocus that the 70Ds has. The 70D 80D, it's got the smooth autofocus, but it's going to fail before the G7 does in low light. So his One Barnett One's recommendations there to use a wide and try to maintain the same distance, almost like you're pre-focusing manual focus. That's a good idea. And shooting video, it doesn't matter if they glide in and out of focus. That looks cinematic. Okay, And then Video Photo SMX comes back, says, thanks, does focus peaking work while recording video? Yes, it certainly does. And that's what One Barnett says. Yes, it does. Punch-in magnification works too, and the video will keep recording at the normal magnification. Absolutely, I use that quite a bit. I've got that going right on in my viewfinder here on the iPad while we're recording this. One Barnett, I forgot, it can also do focus pulls on its own, which is great for weddings. He's talking about the 70D or the 80D, and that is a good thing. And probably the one thing that the 70D and 80D have going for them over other cameras. Other than that, they get trumped. He says, you put the camera on a tripod, touch one part of the scene, then another, and tell the camera to transition the focus in a set amount of time. So what we would do as a manual pull focus operation can be done in autofocus just with the slide of a finger, basically, on the 70D and 80D, and now the Canon 1DX Mark II, which is awesome. However, unless you're going to pony up for the 1DX Mark II, you're not getting 4K video. So that's the disadvantage. Plus, the 70D and 80D don't have that very good low light focus ability. He says it gives beautiful focus pulls quick and easy. For details such as the dining tables, the cake will be creative. That's our work. And then Video Photo SMX comes back and says, thanks, I think the G7 is a great camera. I definitely consider it as my first option. That would be my end game take on here. Some great points by various people. One Barnett one, especially about how he would shoot for using the pull focus and also shooting with a wide and maintaining your distance to your subject so you don't have to worry about the AF tracking and dim lighting in for video. That's a very good recommendation. But you could do that with the G7, and I would recommend the G7. What do you guys think, though? Do you agree the G7 is a better camera, or would you lean towards the 70D because you really want that pull focus? I know my good friend Peter Gregg's just in love with the dual pixel AF pull focus. He wants to buy the Canon 1DX Mark II so he gets the best of both worlds, that pull focus plus the 4K video. Leave some comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your feedback here, guys, on this video. And stay tuned. We'll be back soon here at outoftheimage.com. Thanks.